With me today, I do have Eric Herbert. I can never say his name.
Hi, I'm Eric Hebert. I'm the virtual organizations liaison. I do the public relations between us and other organizations within the hobby.
And also, I forgot to add him onto the slide. I didn't know he was going to be here. There's David Rendon here. He is the human resources. So if any questions about registration, or if you have any issues with any other member of Vatstar, you talk to him. I'll get all the contact information in a second after this. Housekeeping items. I'm going to ask you to either have a Discord push to talk or have a push to mute. So a push to talk is set up through your settings. You press the button to talk. Push to mute is set up so that when you press, if you have a voice activated mic, you can push to mute. So when you press the communications for VATSIM, it mutes your Discord. This can be set up in your key bindings in Discord in your settings. Or you can just use a mute while flying, but then you have to remember to unmute yourself when you want to talk on Discord. Please use Discord for any chit chat and only use the Unicom for position reports and conflict resolutions. Our expectations. Vatstar does not teach you how to fly your plane. So we won't teach you exactly how to start and exactly how to take off and land a Cessna 172. We can help you with a few things, but our training is more on flying. So like how to fly a traffic pattern, how to communicate on VATSIM, but we won't teach you how to fly a specific plane. So we are expecting that you're able to maintain a heading, altitude, and airspeed as instructed, and are able to land and take off in your aircraft. Also, you're expected to know any avionics that you may use in the flight. So, for example, the radio, transponder, and if you want, the autopilot. So please make sure you know how to turn on and off your autopilot if you use it, and how to adjust it as required. And that is the same expectations for any flight on the VATSIM. Up to now, is there any questions? No. Okay. So the Vatstar training program, I kind of quickly went through, but Vatstar is an approved training organization for VATSIM. So we are not part of the VATSIM organization, but we are an organization separate from Vatstar, but we do training for the pilots for VATSIM. We've been going for 5 years, so it was 5 years in June. And we started in 2015, and we've trained thousands of pilots, and hopefully we will keep going for many years to come. As you guys know, the pilot ratings on VATSIM have changed. So now there are 5 ratings, starting with the P0, which is a basic VATSIM member. So this will be taken, the P0 will be taken when you join VATSIM, if you joined after August 18th. If you joined before August 18th, you don't have to worry, you automatically got your P0, so congratulations. This is just teach you the basic rules and regulations of VATSIM and the basics, bare basics of how to connect to VATSIM and what you need to know to connect to VATSIM. The next step is the P1, or the private pilot's license, the PPL. and we are taking a written exam and 2 or 3 practice flights and a practical exam to pass your P1. And then you go to your P2, which is your instrument rating, P3, which is the commercial multi-engine license, and then your P4, which is your airline transport license, APPL. So Vatstar, with Vatstar, you're able to take P1 to P4. Currently, we only offer P1 to P2, with P3 coming out sometime in September and P4 in the near future. This is because we're still catching up from the change, and we still need to write all the training equipment. Training progressions, like I talked before, for each rating, you'll be reading a whole bunch of documentations. These documentations actually come from real life manuals, and there'll be a lot of reading to be done. And then after that reading, you'll be taking a written exam. You're able to take the written exam 3 times, and each time you fail, there'll be a 3-day wait next time you can take it. If you fail more than 3 times, if you fail 3 times, then you have to email the CFI, which will be Thomas Henson, on what happened and how to rectify and how to continue. But hopefully you pass. And after you pass the written exam, you'll be taking a practice exam. So there's 2 ways to take a practice exam, a practice practical. This will be via a software called TechView. Is it TechView? And or you can do it with a mentor and or instructor. And then after you've done your practice flights, then you can take your practical exam, which will be taken with an instructor.
The software is called TACView. That's Tango Alpha Charlie.
I go
India Echo Whiskey.
Is it just a screen recording type thing? Like
it records a lot of data from your flight simulator about your. It's kind of like a flight data recorder.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah.
Hi,
so
does it? Sorry to interrupt. Does it support Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? The software?
I believe it will.
It does. It does. Unfortunately, it has the same
issue with the frame rate, right?
Correct. So we're not recommending you using it right now, pending the fix from Asobo.
I'm still studying for the test, but yes, thank you for that.
Is there any more questions?
Hey Ed, can I interject something a little bit here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, I just wanted to say something for, that we've been going through this a lot lately, especially now that we're getting so many new students coming in. And I think it's very important. We just, we've been going through this almost every day, answering the same question, 20, 30 times a week. And I think it's very important for everybody to read the material on the web page. Make sure you go through everything, because 99% of the questions, like I put, a comment earlier, are answered in the material. Now, if you have questions about a certain topic, about weather, about, filing flight plans, about whatever, that's great. Go ahead and ask anything you need. But like all this stuff that Edward is explaining about how to go through the training progression, it's all explained in the documents and everything. Now, when a lot of people I've noticed have been asking for practice flights, like they just barely finished joining, and 15 minutes later they're asking for a practice flight. Now, due to the limited amount of time that we have, because we have very few mentors and instructors, you guys should be aware that when you request a practice check ride, is when you think you're ready to pass it. Like you already went through all the documents, passed the written test, and even practiced on your own, within the parameters of the requirements of the test, and you feel like you're ready to pass it. So that when we give you that training flight or that practice check ride, we can say, yes, this guy's ready to take the actual check ride or not. But once again, if you feel like you just need to practice or get some explanation of a certain subject, during the flight, that's fine too. But I just wanted to kind of make sure that everybody understands when you're asking for a practice check ride is when you think you are ready to take the check ride already. And that's it.
And for those who didn't know, that's Jose Cazada. He is one of our great mentors here.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I'm a nobody, but just a mentor. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very much, Jose. That's very good. Any other comments or questions? So these are the important contacts for Vatstar. So Alessandro is our CEO and founder. So any issues with the website or any general questions, you can contact him. Me, Edward Frisch, I'm the events coordinator. Thomas Henson, if you have any questions about the training itself, or if you find mistakes in the training, even so rare because it's done so well. Or David Menden, the human resources. So if you are trying to register to a certain rating and it doesn't work, or any issues with other members, you talk to him. Anything you want to say, David? No? Okay. So, the first flight. Can you guys still hear me, by the way? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, we can't
Okay.
hear you, Edward. Not at all. Not one bit.
Okay. Good to know, Eric. Okay, so flight 1, this is our flight at Astoria. So, as we're going to be doing what we call traffic patterns. So, traffic patterns are used to practice flying, and they're very useful for learning how to do takeoffs and landings continuously. It's just pretty much doing a big square, big circle around the airport. It's what it's called. Here is what we'll be flying. So we will take off on the runway, maintain the heading, and then just do a big square around, and then coming back to land, and then you can take off. So doing a pattern, we will typically we'll be flying 1,000 feet above the ground. So in this case, at Astoria, the elevation of the airport is at 14 feet MSL. So we'll be flying 1,014 feet MSL. But you don't have to be that exact, so you can just say, I'll be flying 1,000 feet MSL. If anyone tells you off for flying 14 feet off, they should be fired. So traffic patterns are just big circles. Traffic pattern altitude, the TPA, which is 1,000 feet AGL, unless it's otherwise defined in the documentation for the airport. But typically, it's 1,000 feet above the ground. Left patterns versus right patterns. So some airports you will do left patterns. Some airports you'll do right patterns. This will be defined off the sectional or the tech charts. But for Astoria, we'll be flying left patterns. So left patterns means that you're keeping the airport to the left and you're making left turns. So when we depart the runway, we'll maintain runway heading. This is what we call the departure leg. And when we're about 700 feet above the ground, so 700 feet, we'll be turning our crosswind. And we're going to keep climbing until we reach our 1,000 feet. When we're about a mile away from the airport, we'll be turning our downwind. So we don't want to extend our crosswind too much, but because we want to be able to land on runway if we have an engine out. But we don't want to be too close that we interfere with the final, or the airport itself, the runway itself, or planes taking off. So we have to be kind of a reasonable. So a mile is probably a good distance. So then we'll continue our downwind until we get to about 45 degrees away from the threshold. So the threshold is what we call this like dotted white line here. It's what we call the threshold. So when you're about 45 degrees, or when you see the threshold in the back left corner of your window, your back window, is when you start your base turn. And this will usually be maximum 2 miles. But yeah, maximum 2 miles. But 45 degrees is usually a good amount of time. You don't want to extend it too much. One, you might leave the airspace that's defined for the airport, or you might leave the controlled airspace, especially when we're going to the controlled airport later on. So 45 degrees, you turn base, and then when you're in line again, you turn final. So take off, you're on departure leg, you turn 90 degrees to crosswind, 90 degrees to downwind, you turn base when you're 45 degrees from the threshold, and when you're lined up, you turn final. Is there any questions about how to fly the pattern work or the altitude?
I do have a question about pattern entry. If you, let's say, for example, let's say you were off to the east of this airport, using runway 35 as an example, how would you enter that pattern from the east?
So, are you able to see my mouse?
I think so, yeah.
I'm under departure. So, you'll say for the east, so this is runway 36, but it works okay. So, what will you do if you're is fly over the runway? So, there's two ways you can do it. You can either fly over the runway at pattern altitude at 1,000 feet above ground, and then go directly 90 degrees into the downwind, or you can fly 500 feet above the runway and do a, I guess it's 270 into a downwind.
Is it the teardrop?
Yeah, as a teardrop.
Okay, and you said that would be at 500 feet AGL?
Yeah, so you fly 500 feet above, 500 feet above pattern altitude, so 1,500 feet AGL.
Okay.
And then as you start the teardrop, you descend down to 1,000 feet to enter the pattern at 1,000 feet AGL.
Understood, thank you.
Now, I think, this is Eric, I would say that to judge the crosswind and base, sometimes people do it, like 2 minutes worth of flight, as opposed to trying to think well, how long has this been a mile, or can we judge a mile? So sometimes a 2 minute crosswind and base. The key is you want to have your base and your crosswind be identical. If you've flown, the downwind being exactly opposite of your your runway heading.
I think 2 minutes might be a little bit too long, because you don't want it too wide.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a good question. So how much time is a good rule of thumb in your head? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 90 seconds?
Probably like 30 seconds to a minute maximum. Because, like I said, you don't want to be too far away that if you have an engine out, that you can't. If you have an engine out, you want to make it back to the runway. So in the Cessna 172, there's a 9-to-1 rule. So you do 9 feet for every foot you lose. So you have to kind of think about that when you do your crosswind. Does that make sense?
Not really. I'm sorry.
So Cessna has a 9-to-1 rule for when you have a gliding with a no engine.
Oh, so if you lose your engine, you're moving forward 9 feet for every foot downward.
Yes.
Of altitude you lose.
Is it that way? Or
so if you're losing 9,000, if you're losing 1,000, if you're gonna drop 1,000 feet, because that's the pattern altitude. I'm sorry, the pattern altitude. You're going to be moving forward 9,000 feet.
Which is close to 2 miles.
Yes.
No, that can't be right then. Is it the other way around?
I thought 2,000 feet was a mile. No, 2,000 yards was a mile.
I have to go back to you. I think I screwed that up. somehow.
5,280 feet, if I recall well.
Okay, 1 second. Let me find out quickly.
That might be a little too esoteric for this flight, my friend.
But anyways, I'll get you the answer later on. It doesn't matter for this flight. But yeah, so let's just go for a minute for your crosswind. That'll be a good distance.
1 minute sounds good to me.
I think that's a good guideline. If you see yourself too far, if you think, oh, everyone else is getting a lot more narrow, then you adjust it, right? So you have to adjust it as you see it fit.
So you turn crosswind at 700 feet. Are you supposed to be at pattern altitude when you turn on the downwind?
Yes. So you turn crosswind when you're about 700 feet, 800 feet, and then by the time you get downwind, you should be at 1,000 feet. Well, as soon as you're midfield downwind, you can start descending back down again, so that you're at a good altitude for landing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically when you have the runway beside you.
Yeah. Okay, METARs. So I'm going to teach you quickly. Oh, did I fix this METAR? Oh, well. There's a mistake going to happen. So I'm going to try and quickly teach you how to read a METAR. So it's very simple. As soon as you know what to look for, I understand that the first time you see this, it looks like a complete jumble of letters and numbers. So the first section, Kilo Alpha Sierra Tango, that is your airport identifier. So it will give you the code of the airport for which this weather report was made for. The next section, the 120155Z, is your date and time or time group. So the first two letters is the date of the month. So this was meant for the 12th day of the month at 0155 Zulu. So the first two letters is the date. The last four numbers is the time. And then Z means Zulu time. Auto means this was made automatically by a computer. So automation. If it was not, if the METAR was made by a human, it wouldn't have that auto in the description. The next one is the winds. So the 320 at 08 knots. So the first three numbers, I should say, is the direction. The last two numbers is the force. So in this case, the wind is coming from 320 at 8 knots. Keep in mind that this heading is in true, not magnetic. So that comes important. It comes important later on. Next section is your visibility. So 10 statute miles. SM means statute miles. As I said, sorry. Okay, next is the cloud coverage. So in this example, there's a few clouds at 2,300. So the cloud coverage is done in flight levels here. So if it said 200, it would be 20,000 feet. If it was 002, it would be 200 feet. So there's a couple of different codes that you have to kind of know. So CLR means clear. That means there's no clouds in the skies. A few clouds is FEW. Then you got scattered, which is Sierra Charlie Tango. Broken, which is Bravo Kilo November. And overcast, which is Oscar Victor Charlie. And it will give you the altitudes of each level where the clouds are. unless it's clear, where it will just say CLR, means there's no clouds in the sky. The next section, the 1611, is your temperature and dew point. So the first two numbers is the temperature. The last two numbers is the dew point. The next is your altimeter. The 82999 is your altimeter. So 29999 is what you set your altimeter to. And then the last part where it says RMK 8202 SLP 156, just ignore it. It's the remarks. For what we're doing today, you don't need to know about it. You can learn more about it using Google, but for what we're doing today, it's not.
One quick note for us Americans, that 16/11, that's Celsius. So we have to do the conversion to Fahrenheit.
Yes, that's a very good point. Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm Canadian. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start at Estonia Regional, Kilo Alpha Sierra Tango. What I do for all my flying is using skyvector.com. This has all the charts for the US, IFR and VFR. It also has a lot of the charts for the world, but it's not as well done outside of the US than inside the US. The US is very, very good using SkyVector, but outside the US it's not as good. So, but for the US flying, as we're doing today, it's a very good resource. Get all your charts. It can give you METARs. It gives you TFRs, anything that you need. I would strongly recommend you getting familiar with SkyVector. So Estonia has 2 active runways and 1 inactive runway. So the active runway is runway 0826. Just hold on a second. I'll give you questions in a second. With 5,794 feet asphalt, then so the heading of 080 to 260. So the runway number is done on the magnetic heading. So if the runway heading was 080, like it is for runway 08, you just take out the last letter, and so it becomes runway 08. It's not perfect, but that's what usually it is. So runway 08 will be 080, runway 26 will be 260. And then runway 14 is 139 heading, and runway 32 would be a 319 heading magnetic. Like I said, the winds are done in true. The heading, the runway headings is done in magnetic. So the difference between true and magnetic is a variation. And a variation on this airport is 15 degrees east. Like I said before, this will be doing left traffic patterns. So we'll be doing left turns or leaving the airport to the left window. So if you see the airport in your left window, you do it right. If you see it in the right window, you're doing something wrong. Unicom. So in VATSIM, all the Unicom CTAF frequencies, it's going to be 122.8. No matter where you are in the world, it's always going to be 122.8. Like I said, the variation between true and magnetic north at Estonia Airport is 15 degrees to east. So to go from true to magnetic, if it's east, you minus, and if it's west, you add. So, like the wind.
Least. That's how you remember it. East is least.
So the current winds right now is 300 at 12. So east is least. So you minus 15, which would be, if my math is correct, 285 magnetic. So then you're trying to find what's the closest to 285. Actually, it might be runway 26 is closest now. Yeah, so runway 26 is going to be the closest one. So we'll be using runway 26.
Really? You gonna make me move?
He was talking about it earlier.
You said you were gonna do that to me.
I said don't taxi yet. I did say that. And you know that the METAR always updates at the top of the hour. So that's what happened. The METAR updated itself. Someone had a question.
Yeah, I was wondering, why is the dew point important?
So if the dew point and the temperature are close together, there's more chance of getting fog and moisture.
And
Okay,
also,
so
in some cases, wing icing.
Yeah,
Carbide
icing.
in small aircraft.
You might hear humidity. Some like at the television will say what the temperature is and what the humidity is by a percentage. That is determined by what the dew point is. So they're giving you the raw information. And so yes, the closer that the air temp and the dew point are, is the more moisture in the air.
okay, thank you.
So this is a picture of Astoria. There's a couple of good landmarks that you should know about. By the way, this is the airport that you'll be taking your PPL from. So it's a very good airport to kind of get familiar with. So if you start at the right-hand side, you have the U.S. Coast Guard station with the helicopters. Eric will probably tell you more about that. And then you got your FBO, which is your private company, and it gives you fuel and just basic services for private pilots. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Then you got your fuel farm, your pilot bar, so your restaurant, doctors. Electro, which is a company within Astoria doing tugs. Your T hangars, and then your executive hangars. So this is kind of good to know, especially when we're doing our taxiing, just to know where other aircrafts are. So an aircraft says, "Oh, I'm taxiing from the T hangars." Well, you kind of know where are the T hangars, and it's good to kind of get familiar with any airport that you fly out of. As you guys know, there is no taxi charts for Astoria. This is found off of the internet. So I would, if you can, take a screenshot, or if you look at the group flights, I will post you a link to this chart, and you can use it as a taxi chart. Stand by. I will post it. Nope, I don't have it up anymore. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Yeah. There you go. Post it in group flights if you want to have a picture, or you can take a screenshot. So this will give you the taxi letters for each of the taxiways at Astoria. SkyVector doesn't have this, so this is why I'm posting it in group flights. Did anyone get it? I hope so.
It's also pinned if you ever need to go back to it.
Excellent. And I'm now looking at the wrong screen again. Okay, radio communications, the fun part. Okay, so as you know, this is an uncontrolled airport.
Okay, Edward, there's actually a good question here before we move on.
Oh, go ahead.
Tyler asked, what dictates traffic pattern direction?
Ah, okay. Stand by. I will. Okay, so if you look at the tech charts or the sectional, so in this case, it's a sectional of Astoria, you'll see that every airport has a little description. So the top part is the name, the airport code. I believe that's the ASOS. I think that's the weather. Was that the Unicom? Oh no, it must be the Unicom.
ASOS is weather. Instead of ATIS, ASOS is an automated.
Ah, there we go. Next is the airport elevation, and then the length of the longest runway, and then that's your ATIS at the bottom there, 122.8, which is kind of funny because that's the actual VATSIM Unicom. And then at the bottom, if you do not see RP and then the runway number, it means it's left turn. So, for example, it is at this Venoria, 05 Sierra, you'll see this RP9. So for runway 9, it's right-hand patterns. If it doesn't say anything, it's left-hand patterns. So typically, it's always left-hand patterns unless it says right-hand patterns. Also, in the aircraft directory, which you can find with the FAA, it also tell you if it's left or right-hand patterns.
If you look very close at this, the 1-4, there's an asterisk L in there that's hard to see because there's a river right there. That's what's saying the left. You look at Seaside 56 Sierra, it says 12 asterisk 1122 and then 122.9. So that's the L there, right there is showing you the left-hand pattern. Left is the most common because the pilot's in the left seat. So the default one is going to be left unless there's a reason it needs to be right-hand turn.
Typically noise abatement, such as that Valenio or Valonia, when you're flying over that, if you were on runway 9 and did a left pattern, you'd fly right over the town. They probably don't like that.
Okay. Any more questions before I... So, communications. Oh my, we have to get going. So, the format of the radio call for uncontrolled airport is who you're calling, who you are, where you are. Now, you don't always have to say where you are. I'll get to that in a second. And what you want, and then who you are calling. So, for example, Astoria traffic, scout number 172 Victor Sierra at the FBO, taxiing to runway 32 via. This was done before I had the chart. This is brand new for us. So taxiing, you can say what taxiways you're using. So taxiing to runway 32, Astoria. So who you're calling, who you are, where you are, what you want, who you are. It's the 5 steps. You always say that when you're doing a traffic call. When do you make a call? So you want to make a call when you're taxiing and crossing any runway. This includes inactive runways. Just because you're not using a runway, because this is uncontrolled, it's the pilot's decision of what runway to use. If you want to, even though the wind is, I forgot what it was now, 3002, a pilot can choose to take runway 08 or runway 14. You're not required to use the runway that is best for the winds. So therefore, you always have to say what runway that you want to cross in case there's an oddball pilot on the frequency. Now, if you're not flying the typical runway that everyone else is flying, you have to give away to them. So let's say I'm flying my pattern work on runway 26 and you want to take off runway 30, you have to give away to me because I was there before you. So you kind of have to give way to that person, not to start a conflict. But you have to take whatever runway you want because it's uncontrolled. It's the pilot's decision on what runway to choose. So before you cross any runway, you must announce it on Unicom. Before you depart, and as appropriate to maintain traffic separation while in the pattern. So when it's busy, you want to do it when you do every single turn. So when you turn onto your crosswind, you want to make a call. So Australia traffic, SAR number 978, Alpha Papa, turning crosswind, runway 26, Australia. Now you notice here I did not say my location. Why is that? That is because I said I'm turning crosswind. There's only one area I can be at. I have to be at that corner where to turn crosswind. So it's kind of already given in my what I want to do. So every time you do a turn, so when you turn crosswind, when you turn downwind, when you turn base, when you turn final. Let's say you're at the airport that's less busy, then maybe you only have to call when you're midfield downwind and final. It's up to the pilot to decide when to make the call, but you have to make it enough so that other aircrafts are aware where you are. So it's as the traffic dictates. But for this flight, it's going to be busy, so we'll be doing it every time you turn. So every time you turn crosswind, every time you turn downwind, every time you turn base, and then when you turn final. And then if you do a full stop landing when you clear the runway, and then you'll call again, taxiing and crossing any runways back to the ramp. I think I forgot to say something. I forgot what it's going to be. Unexpected events. So let's say if someone cuts you off, then maybe you want to do an extra call. So let's say if someone lines up in front of you when you're on a short final, you might want to make a call that you're on a short final. So that's what I mean by unexpected events. So if something makes you uncomfortable of separation, or the separation diminishes for whatever reason, you might want to make an extra call. You just tell them what your position is in that case. If you have to do a go round, I forgot to talk about go rounds in a traffic pattern. So let's say that you're turning base and you continue base, you turn final, and then you see someone lining up on runway 36 for this example. So what you can do is instead of going final and then doing a go around right above the runway, which will cause a collision, because if the person on the runway takes off and you're lined up perfectly on the runway, that is going to end up with a big collision. So what you can do is extend your base a little bit so that you are parallel the runway on the opposite side of the pattern, and then you wait for the person who took off to turn crosswind, then you turn crosswind behind them, and then you continue back on the pattern work, and then you land. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that like extra leg is called an upwind leg. It's not depicted on this chart. Is there any questions about communications? Separation. I'm going to talk about a little bit of separation. So when we depart, we're going to wait for the aircraft in front of us to turn crosswind before we next person departs, and do not take off if you have someone on base, or just make sure you don't depart when someone's on final, pretty much. So if someone's just turning base, if you're going to do immediate takeoff, that's fine, but be aware that if they're turning base, they're going to be landing very, very soon. So try not to cut people off when they are already on base and final. Any questions?
As we're many people, would that be a good idea for us to extend the downwind instead?
So yeah, if as more people are coming online, we just follow the aircraft in front. So don't cut in front of another aircraft. You follow the aircraft that's in front of you. So let's say this guy is flying his downwind, and I'm just crossing a crosswind. I'm going to follow this guy, and at the point where he turns base is where the point I'm going to cross base. So we just have to follow everyone around. So we're going to be running out of time here. So let's log in, if you haven't, to Kilo Alpha Sierra Tango, and we're going. I believe someone asked me a question. Are you saying that taxiing to runway 66 by... So there's two ways of saying it. I'm not that familiar with the taxiways yet, so I'm going to look it up. Stand by. Where's it gone to? So let's say taxiing to 26. You can say taxiing via. So let's say my call sign. Australia traffic Skyhawk number 978 Alpha Papa taxiing to runway 26 via Bravo 3 Alpha crossing runway 1432. You can say that way, or you can just say taxiing via Bravo 3 Alpha, and just before you cross, you can say Skyhawk 978 Alpha Papa crossing runway 3214 at Bravo 3 Australia. Does that make sense?
I make an example because I have to move.
There we go. Okay, so we're running out of time here. Oh, I'm going to be slightly late.
Hello. Okay, I have to move from 3-2, so I'm about to give a call out.
Excellent. So we can listen to Eric on his call out while I start up. I'm going to switch to my sim, so anyone who's not flying can watch a traffic pattern as soon as I find my Discord. So you guys are welcome to set up your engines and start taxiing, and we'll take off as needed. Let's do 1 or 2 traffic patterns and then land back at the ramp, and then we'll do another briefing, and we'll move to the next airport. Does that sound good to everyone?
Absolutely.
Hey, firm.
Okay.
Did y'all hear that on Unicom?
No.
I heard it.
Okay. I need to readjust my pedals. I think I messed up the... Okay, what did he do wrong on that? Everything, but he forgot to say Astoria traffic at the beginning.
Yeah, I forgot. I realized that.
Unfortunately, I've got truck traffic, so I have to go around these guys.
What simulator are you on?
2020.
Ah.
I'm getting feedback from somebody.
Oh, and everyone, make sure that you squawk 1200 VFR.
Yes, that's a great point, yeah.
Why is my engine so rough?
Wow, what is with my tongue all of a sudden?
One more time. Astoria traffic, Charlie, Whiskey, Foxtrot, Whiskey, Lima, Foxtrot is Type Cherokee, taxiing runway 26 via runway 3.
Traffic. And another good point there is that I had to stop because somebody else was talking, so I didn't want to step on his call, and so I'd rather stop the aircraft than do it. You want to announce before you do the action, not while you're doing the action. Jackie, my cat is under my foot.
And I'm So when you say the runway numbers, we try and say the individual numbers separately. So it's runway 1432.
Gotcha.
Okay, the last one. Hold on before you do. Yeah, the last guy. It's either Cessna or Skyhawk. So better, yes, you're better saying Skyhawk than and Cessna. I just keep forgetting which aircraft I'm in, so I just say Cessna.
When do I say that?
So instead of Cessna, or you say Cessna or Skyhawk, not both.
And then where do I put my call sign in there?
So you say. So you say.
You drop the N number. You drop the N, the November
Okay.
that start, and then the numbers after. So I am Cessna 269er Echo Hotel. Okay, I'm in position at 26 out Alpha 1, holding short. Edward, just want to let you know. Astoria, finished by saying Astoria. You finished by saying the place you're at. So if someone catches you while you were talking, you say the name. You say Astoria traffic to start, and then you end by just saying Astoria. The last thing the first thing you say is Astoria traffic. The last thing you say is Astoria.
Sorry, lag spike.
No worries.
No, I went into the Cherokee.
Yeah, that's me. Apologies for the lag spike. It decided to load something halfway across the friggin' taxiway.
I was taxiing right behind you. I was like, oh. I'm on an idle too, so.
Perfect. Bingo. Great call there.
Runway 0826.
Oh, another low spike.
All right, Edward, should I just go? What do you
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
All right.
So the hold short for X-Plane is different for Microsoft Flight Sim because you're way far ahead of my hold short line.
Yeah, usually
I do think I'm a little ahead of. I overshot the line. Tell you. Let's see.
Oh, no, like you're a couple aircraft ahead. Like.
Yeah, I missed the line. I'm over the line. Whoever's behind me, you're absolutely right. I did go too far. But I'm going to do taxi. Go ahead.
So something I forgot to mention is whenever you connect to a new frequency, I always follow 3 steps before I make a communication on a frequency. First of all, I listen to the frequency, make sure I'm not stepping over anyone else. Then I think about what I'm going to say in my head. Also, another way I do it also is I say it out loud without pressing my push to talk, so that I know what I'm going to say on the frequency. I don't sound like I'm not doing on the frequency, and then I say it on the frequency.
Is it a left traffic pattern or a right traffic pattern?
Left traffic, and you should have waited a little bit longer, at least another minute.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I saw you didn't clear the runway yet, but I still had to taxi to the runway.
Okay, why am I? No. Ah, I know why. Okay, silly me.
So you have to call it when you're holding short, do you?
No, not really. Holding short, no. Come on, come up to. All right, I'm coming.
Oh.
So we only have to announce when we're turning base and final, or what?
Because it's busy, I would advise you guys to every single turn. So when you crosswind, downwind, base, and final. And as required to avoid conflicts.
I skipped crosswind since I was turning while you were saying that. Or skip saying crosswind.
So are we doing just one circuit and then landing and then go parking? Is that what we're doing?
We're doing 2.
1 or 2. One is preferred, but because we're slightly behind schedule here.
Let's do 1.
Let's do 1 because we're behind schedule. I mean, I've given you all the tools that you need to do more, right? You're welcome to come back after the event. So yeah, just do one pattern and land. Do a full stop landing, and then taxi back.
And there's the disconnect.
You're
Wonderful.
getting the hang of it. Yeah,
Runway
we're getting the
26.
hang of it. Yeah. It's a little choppy here. I'm at the numbers of 8.
Wait, I'm confused because now I'm heading. I followed the aircraft in front of me, but I think I skipped.
Eric, where are you? I can't see you.
I'm just past the numbers on the downwind.
Oh. God damn it.
That's
Okay,
okay. That's all right.
I should know better. That's bad. Okay,
Was that you?
That was me.
All right, I'm going to be turning base in another couple of seconds here.
Oh, don't worry, I'll
There's
do
a
one.
river up here, which is a good visual cue to turn base, I think. We'll give you a nice downwind. We'll give you a good base and final. So I'm going to turn at the river here. There's 2 rivers. There's look for the bigger one down here. All right, I'm turning. Yeah, we're getting the hang of this.
Maybe a minute's too long.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Look,
But I think for separation, it's not so terrible at this moment.
yeah. I'm kind of. Because. Actually, maybe like even maximum 30 seconds, I would say. 15 to 30 seconds.
Wait, aren't you turning final?
Absolutely correct. Good catch. You get a cookie.
Well, this ain't good, because I'm about to... Yeah, I should have taken off later.
Yeah, and I also turned late, so
Yeah, I turned way late. Oh god, because I was extending yours.
yeah.
So 2 people coming final.
All right, I'm going to stay at altitude and do another pass, and let who's behind me just come right on in. Just descend. Hello, come back up. Come back up. And I'm also wide. I decided to stay east of the, well, to the right of the, that should come in behind me just in case.
So Eric, to 269 Echo Hotel.
Glad I don't have TAC view on. You guys would laugh at me.
I hate when I get disconnected.
Oh no, that's no fun. So I guess I'll pull up the rear, Edward. Or is there anybody else to take off?
Yep. There's 3 more.
Oy, okay.
I see 2 more people and 3 more people on final. Am I right there?
Final runway 26 at Kilo Alpha Sierra Tango. Warning, airport not.
Who's crosswind? So who's on the runway right now?
I just landed.
Hmm.
Turn off message, right? Turn off message.
Oh, I just had engine fit.
I think I heard like a big crash sound on my way down when I hit the landing. I think I may have destroyed something.
Good to bad, that's not very good at all.
Nope.
All right, I'm pretty far out from my crosswind, so if there's other people that want to come in behind me or in front of me, go for it.
Yeah. Problem is, there's a whole bunch of people landing right now, so they can't take off. Like
It's okay.
I'm doing a low approach, a low speed. Yeah, waiting for this guy. Come on.
Let me start over. Excellent.
Approaching runway 1432.
You should be saying where at Bravo 3. You want to say where you're crossing it. Although it's obvious because there's only one. Well, there's 3 crossing: Bravo 4, Bravo 3, and Bravo 2. But there's really only one crossing at Bravo 3, but you still should include that.
That Cessna's almost about to get rear-ended in the live screen there.
Which Cessna? There's also
The one that Edward's sharing his screen right in front of him.
Ah.
Very close together.
He's going so slow.
I've been on Hilton Head ground for like 2 hours now.
Did you get any traffic at Hilton?
And now I'm waiting for you guys to show up.
But did anybody else show up? Because, staff it and they will come.
1 aircraft. 2 aircraft.
Awkward.
2 aircraft.
I didn't have my parking brake on.
Yeah, that'll hurt the tower. Your maintenance guy is gonna give you some grief for that.
No. I didn't turn it on. Sorry, I didn't turn it on, and I was just rolling tab it forward while I parked.
Oh, I should have called at either midfield on the downwind or
Okay, so anyone who's landed ready can move to Hilton Hill, which is the code, which I've forgotten off the top of my head.
Hotel X-Ray Delta.
Hilton Hill is.
I'm not seeing anything yellow on my maintenance list. That means I didn't break something too bad on my landing.
So anyone who's landed already can move to Hilton Hill, which is Kilo Hotel X-Ray Delta HXD. And then
shoot, I forgot to install an airport for that. Wait, is there one? Never mind, I'll just look it up.
Ooh, I was just about to turn base, so somebody is. I don't know where you're at.
And
I'm gonna extend my downwind then.
We're gonna load up next to the tower at the FBO. Our next plane's called Ramp Parking.
It's not released yet, dang. Okay, I have to install this. That means I have to restart X-Plane. Oop.
You know what we're not saying is which runway we're on the traffic for. We're just assuming because everybody's doing it. Yeah, I'm thinking that myself.
Perfect.
Okay. Ooh, this is a nice airport. I didn't check it out before.
Where's the bloody airport? Where's the bloody runway?
Make sure you guys check the ATIS, please.
Where is
Ooh.
the runway?
I'll get to that in a second.
Oh yeah, good point, good point.
Okay, now I have to restart X-Plane, which means fun times ahead.
Okay, Discord.
I knew
Screen
it.
share, change windows. United 4. There we go. Flight number 2. Yeah, we're slightly behind schedule. Oops. So
Could always go past time, right? I mean, obviously you guys have time commitments.
So which
I
airport
see
is
traffic
that?
ahead of me. I see you guys ahead of me. Starting my descent.
I'm somehow way to the right of the runway I'm supposed to be landing on, but that's all right.
You can always go around.
Should I just spawn at the signature?
yes, sure. You can't really go too long. There's only one really big ramp.
Unless you spawn at the terminal.
Sure, if you want to, but usually that's where the jets go. But
Oh, I could spawn across at the gates. Oh, or
I'm fine with whatever.
well, loading up on the opposite side of the terminal.
You know what? Let's change it up. I'm going to change my. No, I can't change my livery. So I'm going to change nothing.
Eric,
Yes, sir.
can you let me know when everyone's landed?
I'll do my best.
I forgot before changing.
I'm on final right now, so trying my best to get in.
Is anyone else waiting for takeoff, or?
I don't think so.
Anybody else airborne?
I am airborne.
Where are you?
About to turn final.
Okay.
Good. You're behind me then.
Okay, so I think Scott's might be the last one. Okay. So I've switched back my PowerPoint.
Looks like there's somebody on the runway. Please get off because I'm on very short final.
Jesus Christ, the plane just landed right in front of me on the runway. That was very close.
There's two aircraft on the runway. Please. Normally I'd have to go around, but I'm not going to do that.
Yes, as soon as you land, please clear the runway. Yeah?
Right, I know. I mean, it's just like. Like somebody's at the door here. Okay.
Edward or Eric, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to do the flying, but I was just trying to connect to vPilot. And I'm getting the message that there's too many clients. Is that going to...
Switch servers. What server are you on?
Oh, wow. Okay. Probably West Coast.
Switch
To East Coast, because the West Coast server right now is down for servicing.
That would answer the question.
Or any
All right,
other
I was
server.
practicing without being connected, but I can get there and
Okay.
I won't bother anybody.
How much
Never
is
mind, that
the?
gives me an answer. Where do I? Is that in settings?
I'll have to help you after the event.
Okay, okay.
It's in settings. Yeah.
Okay, that was a horrible landing. I hope nobody was watching.
I saw everything.
Oh, I see.
Well,
what
there's
it
an
is.
option to be like an observer of another aircraft. How does that work?
I know in Swift I can select other planes and watch other planes from the outside, but it depends on the client that you use to connect to VATSIM. So I'm gonna start with the briefing. You guys can listen while you finish your flight. This is just to try and catch up some time here. So we're gonna be loading up at Hilton Head. Sorry, what did I say? Hill. So there's.
Bring your golf clubs.
All right, I am parked. Fun.
There's a mistake on this. I forgot to change the runways on this one. So I have to say I messed up the... So stand by. I screwed up. So this airport only has one runway. Well, two runways, but one piece of asphalt. Runway 03 and 21, which is 5,000 feet long, 100 feet wide. So it should be good for your Cessna 172s.
I just almost ran into a PVM.
Runway 03 is at the heading of 033. Runway 21 is on the heading of 213 magnetic. Again, it's all left traffic here. I double check, but I believe it's all left traffic. Yes, it is. The weather right now on the METAR, we'll check the ATIS later, is no winds with 10 statute miles visibility, scattered clouds because it says SCT, so that's scattered clouds at 018 and broken clouds at 4,500, temperature 29, dew point 23, and altimeter it's going to be 3006. Another way, because this is going to be a controlled airport of getting the weather, is by getting via the ATIS. So Hilton Head is, like I said, is a controlled airport. So we'll be using the controllers to help us fly, pretty much. So the ground frequency is going to be 121.1. Power frequency is going to be 118.975. I hope that's what the VATSIM uses. Sometimes the real world frequencies are different to VATSIM. I hope whoever's the ground, I can't remember who was on the ground. Was that Ethan that was on the ground?
Yeah, that's affirmative. It's Ethan Thompson on 121.10.
Yes, me.
Is the tower on 118.975?
Yeah.
And ATIS 121.4?
That's correct.
Okay, good. So you guys are using the real life frequencies. So, and of course, like I said, the variation here is 7.4 east. So if you're going from true to magnetic, you have to add 7.5 to the wind, but there's no wind to talk about.
Hotel X-Ray Delta.
That is the airport code, yes.
Question: when referring to the FBO ramp, should you say FBO or Foxtrot Bravo Oscar?
FBO.
All right.
METAR, Wincom.
If there's multiple FBOs, you can say signature or insert other FBO.
Eric, can you check the ATIS for me and see what runway is going to be active?
Wind's calm, but no, yeah. Let me spawn and then I'll check the ATIS. But right now, the real world ATIS, real world METAR.
Yeah, I got METAR, but I just want to check what runway's active.
Where's everybody?
So
where are they coming in?
Is this a good time to start up my aircraft at HXD?
Okay, guys, can I just finish this briefing? Because otherwise we're going to be doing this all day and the controls are
some of us didn't even make it into Hilton Head yet, and we're giving a briefing. I didn't even get in there yet.
Well, I can talk while you guys are loading up. I understand, but I kind of have to keep it going. So, hierarchy of controllers. So, in VATSIM, the controllers are all volunteers. And there's not always controllers for every single airport in the world. So they use a kind of a hierarchy of controllers. So if you're on the ground and you're trying to talk to delivery, you can contact delivery. But if there's no delivery, then you would contact ground. If there's no ground, you would contact tower. If there's no approach, you'll contact approach or departure. And then if there's no approach or departure, you will contact center. So sometimes you're getting your clearance with center, and sometimes you're getting it via tower. This is called the a top-down control, pretty much. So a higher station will control a lower station for that airport, if that makes sense. So depending on what, in this case today we'll have a ground and tower. So for taxi we'll contact tower, contact ground, and when we're holding short we'll contact tower, and we'll talk to tower while we're in the pan. And then as soon after we land and clear the runway, we'll go back to ground and taxi back to the FBO on ground. If there was no tower, let's say, and there's only approach and ground approach, we would taxi on ground, then contact approach to do our pattern work, and then go back to ground as soon as we're back, clear the runway, if that makes sense. The format for radio calls, requesting taxi, it's the same kind of principle, except you don't have to say who you are calling twice. So it's who you're calling when you're on the ground, and you don't have a flight plan filed. You have to say who you are and a type of aircraft and equipment code. If you do have a flight plan filed, you just have to say who you are. You don't have to say the aircraft type and code. The aircraft type and code is only if you don't have a flight plan filed. This is because they have to make a flight plan for you. When you're flying VFR, it's not required for you to do a flight plan, but it's recommended. It makes the air traffic controller life a little bit easier, so they don't have to do it for every single aircraft.
Makes my job easier.
It makes the controller's life easier. So who you are and the type of aircraft with an equipment code if you don't have the flight plan filed, where you are and what you want, and the ATIS information. So, for example, in Nantucket ground, Skyhawk November 172, Victor Sierra, Cessna 172, Slant Golf, at the FBO requesting taxi for pattern work, and we have information Zulu. So you might say, what equipment code do I have? So if you have a basic G430 or a G1000, like that, a GPS, any kind, you'll be a Slant Golf. If you do not have a GPS, then you'll be a Slant Alpha. It means you have a VOR DME equipment on board. So that's the only two ones you need to know if you are flying VFR. I don't know why they asked. It's not really required for VFR flights, but the ATC always asks you this. But so that's why you have to know. Anyway, Slant Golf is typically what you would say, because most Cessnas just have a simple GPS. Radio communications. So after requesting taxi, it's pretty much repeating exactly what the controller states. And then you end with your call sign. So after you call for taxi, they'll say Skyhawk number 172 Victor Sierra taxi to runway 6 via Alpha. Then you will say taxi to runway 6 via Alpha, number 172 Victor Sierra. When you approach the runway, the ground controller will switch to the tower. The tower will give you a takeoff clearance and the direction of the pattern. So he'll say, Scout number 172 Victor Sierra, clear for takeoff runway 6, winds whatever they are, make left traffic or make right traffic. So you will fly the pattern as if you're flying it uncontrolled. So unless you're directed. So unless they tell you to do something differently, you will take off, do your upwind, your crosswind, your downwind, your base, and your final. Unless they say something different. So they might say extend your downwind. So that means you'll extend your downwind and they'll call your base. So they might say, yeah, I'll November 172 Sierra Victor, extend downwind, I will call your base. So that means to extend your downwind, call base. If they don't say anything, just do your pattern as if you were doing it on an uncontrolled airport.
Wait, when they tell you to, when they call your base, that means that you're going to tell you when to turn base, like tell you at that moment?
Yes, so
okay.
If they say extend downwind, I will call your base, that means they will call your base. And then when they call your base, that's when you turn your base. This is usually when there's a lot of traffic on final, or if there's an IFR guy coming in, straight in, then they have to kind of space you out. Position reports are not required unless requested by the controller. So the controller might request you that you call midfield downwind. They might request you that you report your position when on base. They might request that you request your position on final. Whatever they say.
Sometimes midfield, sometimes the numbers.
Yeah. So it really depends what they ask for. You just have to listen to the instruction and kind of follow the instructions. There's other instructions. Do I have that handy now? Because I probably lost it. Of course I did. So there's a couple other instructions that might say clear for the option. That means you are cleared for a touch and go. You're cleared for full stop landing, or you're cleared for a stop and go or a low approach. That's what they mean by the option. However, they might say also clear for the option except for a stop and go. So that means you're cleared for everything else except for a stop and go. Extend downwind, like I said before. Extend upwind. You extend your upwind, and then they'll call your downwind. They might say make it 360. So this is not to be confused with a heading. Make a 360 means make a full 360 circle. If they say heading 360, that means a heading of 360. They also might say make a 270. So if you're on a downwind, and they may say make a 270, make a right 270. That means making a right turn into the base. So it's kind of making a teardrop into the base, if that makes sense. They might also say clear for immediate takeoff. That means take off without delay, or make a instruction immediately, whatever instruction they might give you. Is there any other questions?
So who are we we're going to be talking to the ground the whole time?
So for taxi, you talk to ground first. When you get closer to the runway, they'll tell you to contact tower. Whenever you're in the air around the airport, this is the class Delta. You will contact the tower until they tell you to contact ground when you landed back on the airport and clear the runway.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions in the text? Okay. Media lobby, anything? No questions? No. Okay. No. That's it for me. Is there any general questions about flying in the controlled airspace? So you guys know the frequencies. I will give it to you. 121.1. And then you can put it on your standby, 118.975. And before you contact ground, make sure you check the ATIS, 121.4. That will give you the active runway and any weather and any other remarks that the controller deems necessary for the pilots. So, who's ready for taxi right now?
I believe I'm connected.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 pilots. I don't recommend all of us departing and doing traffic patterns at the same time. So I'm going to get 6 pilots, whoever's ready first, to contact ground.
Yeah, I'll back off.
I'll do it.
I won't fly.
I'm going to load my plane up quickly so I can listen to ground.
I'm going to bail. I have to go back to work, but thanks a lot, Edward. I'll just watch for a while and then disappear. Thank you.
And always.
All right.
What's the altimeter setting?
It would tell you on the ATIS, but the METAR says 3006. But you would check the ATIS. It would also tell you that in the ATIS.
809.
3009.
That's what it says for me.
Gotcha. What was field elevation again?
19.
Gotcha. Okay, so 3009 works for me.
And what did I say tower was again?
Alright.
Tower is 118.975. Ground is 121.1.
Yeah, just
so what do you say when requesting taxi? Like,
your call sign? Sorry, who you're calling? Who you're calling? So, Hilton Head Ground. Your call sign. So Skyhawk 978 Alpha Papa. Requesting. If you haven't filed a flight plan, you have to say the aircraft type. So Skyhawk 172 with the equipment code slant Golf. Requesting taxi for VFR circuits with information. I don't know the information letter yet. I don't have it yet. So the who you're calling, call sign, aircraft type, equipment code, what you want to do. So taxi for VFR circuits with the ATIS letter. There's 6 things.
What is the equipment type?
So if you have the GPS in your Skyhawk, it's slant Golf. If you don't have a GPS, then it's slant Alpha.
What was the first thing you said? Something something golf or something alpha.
Slant. Golf doesn't matter. You can just say equipment. Slant. How do you call it? / slant. I don't know.
Oh, like a slash or
Yeah, slant. I don't know. We all. It's called slant alpha slant golf in this in aviation. I don't know why, but that's how it is. So, for example, I'm going to do a practice. If you guys are listening to 121.1, I'm going to do a practice communication, and you guys can listen in.
All right. Let me mute my.
Oh, I don't have the ATIS yet. Stand by. I better get the ATIS before I start contact.
Information golf is the letter.
Yeah, but I need to know. Runway 3, okay.
Yeah, and okay, I think I'm gonna contact ground.
Oh.
Okay.
I should have talked about charts, but anyways. Who's number 5335 Juliet? Is someone taxiing without instructions?
Would it be okay for me to contact him now, even though it's been like 2 seconds since the last person?
Yeah. As soon as the airways is clear, you can contact him.
It's Hilton Head ground. It's Hilton Head, right?
Yes, Hilton Head ground.
Approaching runway 0321.
Okay, looks like they just went dark. 457 out. That's what Victor did.
Is November 5335 Juliet talking to controllers?
No.
Who's 5? I'll find out in a second. Whoa! I kind of went into someone. Tyler, are you here?
Oh, jeez, my speakers just ran out. Holy cow, something just happened bad. Did that happen for anyone else?
Yep, I just went away. Oops.
Now. Oh shoot! I need a taxiway diagram.
Oh, you can get it at skyvector.com, and then I'll send you a link as I'm taxing.
Pulling that up. Shoot.
It's very simple. It's just one taxiway, but you should always have the taxi diagram.
(978) Alpha Papa, you're about to run into me.
Are you sure you're going the right way?
Yeah, he's not going. Yeah, I'm heading towards. Making sure I'm heading towards runway 3. He's heading towards runway 21. 21.
Yeah,
Oh,
2 Bravo, you're going the wrong way.
Oh.
I'm facing the right way. I just did that, so.
What do I tell him? What do I tell him?
Just say I'm making a U-turn. My apologies. I mean, it happens. I did the same thing just now. Just follow Alpha Victor.
Okay, you want to go ahead of me? I'm gonna just.
Sure.
Here, you just pass by me. 978 Alpha Bravo.
Yeah.
Alpha Papa.
Yeah, passing now. I posted the ground shot in the group discussion.
Because I was looking at my turn heading indicator. I was like, wait, I'm not heading the right way. Okay, group flight. Here, there we go. That's interesting. Okay.
What am I on here? Oh, where's that shit?
Actually,
What circuit is it again? Left or right?
I would assume left. But the controller can say whatever they want. They can make you do a right traffic if they wanted to. But if they don't say anything, it's going to be left.
Approaching runway 03. Entered runway 03. 4,600 feet remaining.
As soon as I hold short.
So when you're contacting tower, just say your call sign and you're holding short of the runway. But only say that when you're number 1 for the runway. So if you have someone in front of you, just hold on and just wait until you're number 1 for the runway, and then you say Hilton tower, head tower, your call sign, holding short runway 3, and then your position at what taxiway.
Wait, I can hear you over all that. Okay, I'm gonna switch to tower. What do I say to tower?
That you're holding short of the runway, pretty much, and your cost. Yeah, so yeah, only if you're number 1, you call tower, please. I think. And I would only hold my crosswind for about 15 seconds maximum. I wouldn't go too far. I think at the other airport we're going a bit too far wide.
Requested takeoff, but then he just told me to tell the others not to contact him. I don't think he knows it's number 1. Oh wait, because Alpha Victor is in, I guess, Microsoft Flight Sim, so he is in a different place. Okay.
Should we announce our traffic pattern legs this time too?
No.
All right.
You only need to report your position if it's requested by the ATC. Don't call the tower until you're number 1 on the runway.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's good to know.
And they say...
oh wait, did they say hold short?
Yeah, hold short runway 3. That means don't...
Yeah,
don't enter the runway.
What does close to takeoff mean?
Clear for takeoff, he said.
Oh. Clear for takeoff runway 3, left, hold left. 322 Bravo.
So he said clear for takeoff, then left track pattern.
November 322 Bravo, Hilton Head. I accidentally didn't press push talk. Whoops.
So do we have 6?
If I get yelled at, I'm gonna be mad.
If he says clear for takeoff, then you clear for takeoff.
Yeah, and I repeated back, but then I didn't push to talk, so.
That's fine. It happens. And as soon as they say turn it, like,
Wait, so runway 3, so plus that 9 is 12. No. Did you just call 3-2 Bravo?
so if you have in sight, say aircraft in sight. If you don't have it, say negative contact. I guess you'll be able to see each other though.
1 mile final runway 03 at Kilo Hotel X-Ray Delta. Warning, airport not in current route.
Oops.
What do you say?
Roger, he said. Just hold short runway.
My heading indicator is horribly messed up.
Yeah, so make sure that your indicator. What I do is I set my airport, my autopilot heading to the runway heading, then I know where I am in the pattern from that.
Yeah, I know, but I like my heading indicator is not matched up with my compass. Like, it's not even like variation or anything. It's just messed up. It's saying I'm going east when I'm going.
Yeah, so you should make sure it's set before you take off.
When you guys are way above the pattern altitude. Somebody's getting yelled at.
We're 457 Alpha Victor turning base. Sorry about that.
I'm not.
Brendan's getting a little mad.
It's busy. Where's the play runway?
So I turn base when? What do I tell him I turn base?
No. You don't have to tell him if he already
He'll
told
tell
you.
you. He'll tell you when to turn.
Wait, he didn't tell me even to hold. I mean, that he'll call base. I just go whenever, or do I still wait?
So what he'll do is he'll tell you to turn base, and you can turn final at your discretion.
Yeah, okay.
What did I say, Nick? I don't think he... Oh, okay, that was... Okay.
After this, you guys should go mess around in Jacksonville because I'll be controlling there.
Wait,
Whoa!
The tower is a someone from the server, right?
No. I don't believe so.
Oh, that's not good. I feel bad for him if he didn't volunteer for
Well,
that once.
He knew this is going to be for newbies.
Mr. Bryn Brody, a very nice gentleman he is. Yeah. Been pretty interesting. I've had a U-turn on the taxiway, not saying any names.
Yeah, it's two of us that went the wrong way.
Yeah.
I was looking for a ground chart as I was taxiing.
Oh yeah, you went to the wrong side the wrong way, but no, not a problem.
I was following the other guy who wasn't talking.
Maybe I should join Vatstar. Seems like a pretty decent program you guys got going.
Yeah, it's good to get your pilot ratings just to kind of understand what the pilot goes through when you're controlling.
Yes, you should join Vatstar.
You guys should set up a little like air traffic, like learning how to talk to air traffic control section kind of deal. Unless it's already included.
I have included this in this briefing, but I was trying to condense it as much as I can because of time constraints.
That could be a whole separate thing, like ATC lesson course thing.
Short final. I'm short final. What do I do?
Just he'll clear you to land. Just wait for it.
Okay,
You might have to go around, but don't do it yet. Only when he says.
He cleared me, so.
And he cleared me.
Oh, you're good. Never mind.
That's okay. I'll get out of here.
Yeah, they're good.
You'll be fine.
Okay, no, like I'm really short final.
I can see you. You're fine. He's out of the way now. There you are.
And again, disconnected. As soon as I get airborne, I get disconnected every time.
Are you? Yeah. So if you're in a controlled airport, you don't have to do precision reports.
$75 is about to leave the class Bravo. Not a problem though. He's staying inside it.
I'm waiting for instructions, right? Or do I contact him first once I've landed?
Sorry, Yanni, what are you trying to do? Yanni? What are you?
Damn, forgot to turn on my lights. Smart.
Okay, now I text. Once I'm off the runway, I'm gonna contact ground. Okay. So do I request to parking or what?
So yeah, so if you clear the runway, you say to go back to ground. He'll tell you to go back to ground. Then you contact ground saying your call sign, where you are. So clear the runway 03 at Alpha 5 or whatever, Alpha 6 or Alpha 3. Request taxi back to the FBO.
I think an air traffic control program would be pretty cool if you guys had it. Like learning how to talk with ATC, because a lot of people need to learn that.
Well, we do it through our training program. This is just trying to get people connected to VATSIM and trying to do their first flight. So for this flight, I'm just trying to briefly go over it, but you learn it more when you actually doing your training program.
And the PPL thing, yeah.
Yeah, your PPL.
Makes sense.
I am parked. Is there something I should do to sign off to ground, or should I just disconnect?
You can just disconnect.
Yeah,
you can disconnect. As soon as you taxi and you clear the active taxiways, you can just disconnect. You don't have to contact ground.
Alrighty. Magneto's cut off. Whatever. Extra idle.
And okay, I'm gonna disconnect. That was pretty fun.
Landing light off. Taxi. Mission light.
So yeah, so there's a couple of instructions you have to repeat. When they tell you to hold short of a runway, you have to repeat it completely. So you have to say holding short runway 3, then your call sign. When you take off, you have to say clear for takeoff runway 3 and then call sign. And when you land, you have to say clear to land or clear for the option for runway 3, then your call sign. Those are the major ones that you have to read back fully.
Is there a way to specifically request the option?
Yeah, you can just say Skyhawk 978 Alpha Papa requesting the option.
All right.
If you don't know how to say it in plain English.
Okay.
I know a few controllers that'll just give you the option every time you're in the pattern. It doesn't matter. They'll just give you it.
Nice. Well,
yeah, because I was the first one in this flight, and he gave me the option, and I said no, I want the force. I mean, when I do a full stop landing, and they give me the killer option, I tend to say I want a full stop landing, because that means they'll give you more room behind you.
I mean, but the option includes a full stop. You can do a full stop if you want to, or a touch and go, or a low approach, or whatever.
Yes, it does include it, but it's good to tell the controller. It lets them give you a bit more room behind you, because you need more room to get off the runway.
What was that DM about?
Sorry? Say again.
You DM'd me. What are you trying to do?
Oh yeah, I thought you had a question. Yeah, you asked a question and you never finished.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, good.
I forgot.
Answered.
Next question.
Next question.
all right. That was fun.
So, 75 Delta, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but when you land, make sure you pass the whole short line. So in your sim, you should will see like a yellow two solid lines and some dotted lines. You want to pass that before you contact ground. Because if you're not past that, the tower can't land another aircraft until you passed it.
What's the link for the what was it for the mega pack livery mega pack? I can find V4.
Mega pack.
You know, for Microsoft Flight Sim. How they have like a...
Oh. Leave some feedback on the Jacksonville website.
Let me find it. Microsoft.
It's msfsaddons.org, but I can't find it on it.
I'm not sure, actually. You might want to just ask a question in the Discord channel. I don't sure.
Are we done with the Discord for tonight? Is there another briefing or anything? Because I'm finding it distracting while I'm trying to get stuff done.
No, this is it. I'm just here just in case someone else has questions for the end. Otherwise, you guys are welcome to come back next week at 2300 Zulu on the 1st.
Where are you guys flying then?
We're going to start up at the same airport, and then we're going to go...
Well?
What happened?
Disconnected.
Yeah.
Oh. I can't tell if Discord is breaking or if that was intentional or accidental.
It might have had something to do with me accidentally clicking disconnect over his name when I right-clicked on him.